Sure. Today, I'm going to make my first chess video, and I'm very excited about it. Uh, I'm going to be presenting a game between a young player named Michael Yee and International Master Andranik Matikozyan. It took place May of 2008 in Los Angeles, and Matikozyan is a very well-respected player and is considered one of the top IMs in the United States currently. Michael Yee is one of the country's top juniors and very recently earned his national master title at the age of 15. Michael's been ranked in the top 5 of his age category for the last 4 years. Interestingly, 15-year-old phenom Grandmaster Ray Robson happens to be the top-ranked player in Michael's age category. The two boys did represent the United States in Turkey back in 2007 at the World Youth Championships. So without further ado, let's move on to the game. We believe this is Yee's best game played to date. And so he opens with d4, and Matikozyan plays knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3, bishop g7, e4, and now Matikozyan plays the King's Indian defense, d6. Both players are actually devoted practitioners of this aggressive opening. And Michael responds with f3. f3 is basically he's going to play the Samish attack. And in a previous encounter, Yee missed a draw playing this variation against Matikozyan. So he tries it again here. Typically in these exciting games, the two players attack on opposing sides of the board, as white sometimes will castle queenside and black always castles on the king side. And he does so here. And then after bishop e3, Matikozyan plays knight c6, the Pano variation of the King's Indian, and white plays knight ge2, the only place for the knight to go to actually, as f3 has taken away the square, the favorite square of this knight. Matikozyan plays a6, preparing for b5, a natural idea in this opening. Michael plays queen d2, clearing the pathway for castling queenside. And now Matikozyan plays rook b8 and is totally ready to play b5 now. Here Michael normally plays h4, but admitted afterwards that he mixed up his move order and played castle queenside, which is perfectly fine. Black now plays b5 as planned, and here Michael plays h4, and normally black would play h5 in response in order to stop the progress of the h-pawn. But instead, surprisingly, Matikozyan plays the aggressive knight a5, planning to capture on c4. And so here, Michael needs to move the knight on e2 in order for the light square bishop to help defend the c4 pawn. And typically it goes to g3. But here he plays knight f4. And according to Los Angeles Times columnist Jack Peters, he feels Michael might have played a novelty here because, again, knight g3 is the normal move. And what knight f4 does is it allows for g4 in the future, a very aggressive move. It also has its eye on possibly sacking on g6 in some sort of attack. And so a good move here. And black continued with the obvious knight takes on c4, white takes back with the bishop, and now black plays b takes c4, finally opening the b file for some sort of attack. But white takes advantage of the fact that black did not play h5 earlier, and now he himself plays h5. And the young expert here starts his attack on Matikozyan's king side. And here Matikozyan continues with c6, opening up the dark diagonal for his queen to jump into the attack, either on b6 or a5. And Michael responds with g4, which is the whole premise of knight f4. g4 is planning on playing g5 next, kicking the important knight on f6 away. So Michael is basically mounting an assault against the IM now. And the IM responds with queen a5, again, keeping in in line with the idea of attacking on the opposite side of the board, since the kings are on opposite sides. Uh, so, and actually, White's king is not very comfortable being on that side of the board, looking at those heavy pieces of black. But Michael does not get nervous at all and just simply plays g5, kicking the knight. And queen taking back on g5 would be very, very dangerous, obviously, with knight taking on g6 and so forth and so on. So instead, Matikozyan just plays knight d7 and actually offers his young opponent a draw here. And Yee goes into a 20-minute think and ponders the situation and respectfully declines the draw offer, stating afterwards that he did not want to go home and find out he had a win in this game against this powerful IM. So Michael declined the offer and continued with the very, very strong queen h2 move. And again, this is a typical idea of the Samish attack, as well as in Yugoslav attack games against the Sicilian Dragon, where White wants to simply open up the h-file for his heavy pieces to unleash hell on Black's king, for those of you who are fans of the movie Gladiator. And so after queen h2, Matikozyan plays rook e8. He sees the obvious danger to his king and of course makes room for the escape route. And now Michael plays the natural h takes on g6, followed by Black playing h takes back on g6, and queen h7 check, a natural move, forcing the king to go to f8. And now Michael plays rook h6, a slight inaccuracy. Knight taking on g6 was the most powerful move, but rook h6 is, there's nothing wrong with the move, and Black can't exactly capture with the bishop as it leads to mate. And so the IM, not wanting to get mated, plays e5 instead. And it creates some breathing room for his king, but it also helps White play his move, knight takes on g6. And now Black's just losing. As after f takes g6, rook takes g6, White's threatening a mate on g7, forcing rook e7 to defend. And now Michael continues with the attack with f4. And now after Matikozyan plays rook f7, Michael continues with f5, a strong move, although rook taking bishop on g7 was probably best, according to Ripka. And now Matikozyan, in an attempt to rattle his young opponent, the IM tries one last attempt at White's king with e takes d4. And Michael calmly responds with f6, which is effective, although the simpler bishop takes on d4 is also playable. And now Matikozyan plays queen b4, continuing to try and breathe fire down the junior's neck with the threat of mate on b2. But Michael just calmly plays the safe rook d2. However, f taking on g7 is simply crushing. So, but rook d2 very playable. And now after d takes c3, Michael does play rook takes on g7, and now c takes d2 check, and king goes to d1. And so we're entering a sequence here, starting with the 26th move, rook takes on g7, which is sort of a revisit of the unleashing of hell theme. It's actually a mate in 9 sequence, according to Ripka, starting with the 26th move, rook takes g7. And so now after rook takes g7, c takes d2 check, king d1, knight takes f6, queen h8 check, king e7, and now g takes f6 check, king taking back on f6, and a very nice bishop g5 check with the dark bishop. And now Matikozyan's king is definitely on the run. King e5, followed by rook takes f7 with a very nice discovered attack, queen checking the king. King takes the e4 pawn, and now White goes after the king with rook f4 check. King d5, and here Michael plays queen d4 check. Matikozyan, acknowledging his young opponent's great effort in this game, respectfully resigns. as obviously King E6 falls prey to Queen E4 check, followed by King D7 and Queen E7 mate. So there you have it. That's a really wonderful game by young Michael Yee, who now is a national master against a very nice man, International Master Andranik Matikozyan. We hope you enjoyed it.